Welcome back into Cougar Sports Saturday here on KSL News Radio. Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland with you. We are counting down until BYU versus East Carolina. We're about, 4 hours until kickoff between the Cougs and the Pirates. It's 3:19 out here on the East Coast, 1:20 here in the Mountain Time Zone here on KSL News Radio. And right now it's time for a trending up and trending down portion of BYU football talk here on the program. And what's trending up for you heading into this matchup today, Kyle?
I'm going to say the red zone offense, Mitch. They've scored on every red zone possession this season, which leads the FBS. They've got, let me fix my mic there for you. Can you hear me? Mitch, 100% they lead the FBS on red zone offense this season. I think that is something that I look for as a key metric for BYU to find success on the road today as well. If BYU can get into scoring territory, being able to get some points on the board is going to be critical.
You're saying the red zone offense is trending up?
Yeah. I love points. I'm all about taking points.
They're not getting touchdowns. How can you say they're trending up when they were settling for field goals?
You got a guy in Will Farron, like we can take this, Mitch. This was not a red zone possession, but the first offensive possession that BYU had against Stanford, not trotting out Will Farron to kick a long field goal there, that's a prime example of take points. Like BYU, when you can get points, you put them up on the board, especially when you have a reliable kicker like Will Farron. Yeah, sure, you would like to turn those 3 into 6 and 7, but I think that being able to get points, especially on the road today, is going to be super important for BYU to find success. Don't have empty possessions. That's going to be a big thing against the Pirates, who are going to be able to throw the ball pretty effectively, I think.
It is a great luxury for BYU to have a great kicker in Will Farron, where when you do get to the red zone, you're getting points because Farron's that good. But I just don't know if I can agree with that, Kyle, because you got to get touchdowns. Like Kalani's even said, he doesn't want to see field goals. He wants touchdowns, and I think that's still a question for this group coming into this game.
No, I understand that, and I agree to some degree as well. I do think that you saw that last week where BYU only scored 2 touchdowns against Stanford, 2 weeks ago for that game. But to be able to come out and to be able to get 3 when you need 3, like especially like in that Stanford game, Mitch, I know this wasn't red zone, so this kind of defeats the point that I'm making as far as the red zone offense. But imagine how much different that game would have started out if you would have set the tone with 3 from Will Farron as opposed to turning the ball over on downs. I think that the game immediately changes how BYU feels about things as opposed to getting off the field and feeling like, hey, we played into scoring territory almost and, ended up coming away empty-handed.
For me, what's trending up is L.J. Martin. I think there's no debate on L.J. He's been excellent this season. 26 carries, 241 yards. He's averaging 9.3 yards per carry this season. Oddly enough, he hasn't got a touchdown yet this season. I think BYU's got to change that for L.J. Martin. But L.J. has been brilliant, and I'm really curious to see how much of a workload he gets today against East Carolina. He had 18 carries 2 weeks ago against Stanford. Now, East Carolina has the 7th best rush defense in college football. I still don't believe, though, they've seen a running back like LJ to this point this season. I think LJ is the best running back they've faced to date. Really curious to see that matchup and how that works out, and if BYU can establish success with LJ early, because if they do, I think that opens things up for Bear Bachmeier in return and just makes this offense keeps ECU guessing, and BYU doesn't become predictable. I think that's one of the things about BYU's offense is you don't want to get to a spot where you're predictable and one-dimensional. They haven't been that this season yet, and it's been very successful for the Cougars. That's going to be something that's interesting to me, and L.J. Martin is the key to all of that for this BYU football team. He's trending up for me.
Do you think that there's a specific mark that you're looking for L.J. to get to in this? Like, does he need to get 80 yards, 100 yards? What mark do you think does that equal success for BYU on the ground today?
I think for LJ, it's the volume of touches, because he always gets positive yards. He takes care of the football, and he gets positive yards. Like, he's going to get you in a spot where you're in 2nd and 7. And I just think that's critical for a BYU team that goes on the road for the first time with a true freshman quarterback. And, ideally you want to be in 2nd and 5s and 3rd and 2s and things like that. But he gives you – LJ eliminates the probabilities of being in 3rd and 11. And I think that's what's the value of L.J. Martin. And then you factor in how he's got big play ability, too. He's had 3 runs this year over 40 yards. And I just think that volume over the course of a game, and I think he's the type of running back that can wear down a defense. Late in a game, he could really turn it on. So I look at 18 to 20 carries again for L.J. Martin. That's what he got against Stanford, was 18 carries. That territory plus another 7 to 8 with Sione Moa, and then Bears going to factor in. Like, BYU wants to run the football. They have no problem turning to the ground. They ran 41 times against Stanford. They'll run the football. They have no problem doing that. I mean, I know that's still kind of not the BYU DNA. You think of throwing the football, but LJ's more than enough capable of carrying the workload for BYU's offense today here in Greenville.
Trending down for me, Mitch, is the passing touchdowns. They had 0 against Stanford. I think that Bear needs to find the end zone through the air today against the Pirates. And the reason why I say that is because I think that that'll help his confidence as a quarterback, a young player, to be able to throw and find the end zone that way. Because you mentioned his legs there. He's going to find success on the ground. Bears number 47 for a reason. And I feel like we're going to hear about that. We heard about it from the East Carolina coaches as well this week. And I think that that's going to be a conversation point no matter who BYU plays this season about, their quarterback wears number 47. Sure, he's a big body and he's going to be able to find success on the ground. But I think being able to find success, BYU has been known for decades and decades and decades about their quarterback play and throwing the football. And so BYU, I hope, is going to be able to find success in the end zone through their quarterback play and through Bear's arm.
We're here inside Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium for extended pregame coverage of BYU and East Carolina. Kickoff tonight at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. BYU's support staff is getting the sidelines set up right now. They've got the Powerade coolers rolling in, so BYU is arriving here at Dowdy-Ficklin. The truck got here last night, but now they're getting everything set up and final touches for game day between the Cougs and the Pirates.
I know you have your trending down here coming up, Mitch, but those Powerade coolers, that's coming into enemy territory as well. This is Pepsi country, Mitch.
That's right, it is. So we've been drinking some Mountain Dews here in the press box. Trending down for me is just punt returners. Parker Kingston has had 2 fumbles this season. And Tiger Bachmeier had a big return against Stanford 2 weeks ago, but even Tiger had in week 1 where he had a big loss of 10 yards on a punt return. They got to take care of the football. That punt return group, the special teams have been excellent for BYU under the direction of Kelly Papinga, but they've got to be in a spot where they take care of the football, because that's where you go into a road environment and you fumble the ball and give the opponent short field to operate with. That's where things can get really dicey. And East Carolina is number 1 nationally in turnover margin this year. So taking care of the football at punt returner, that's going to be key. And we'll see if, in fact, they do go with Tiger Bachmeier potentially at punt returner in this game tonight. But that spot, just the talent's there, but they've just been trending down from an overall production standpoint.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's really been disappointing this season for BYU, even though they're 2-0, is there's some little miscues that they can clean up. Like Parker Kingston, coming into the season, you thought that was a sure thing that BYU had that they could rely on and count on, and it's been disappointing to see him put the ball on the turf a couple of times. Granted, only one of them ended up being a lost fumble, but you just don't expect that out of him. And I also think that might also play into his production as a wideout as well, and being able to, I feel like in the Stanford game after, he ended up having that fumble, I feel like we saw less of him as far as a wideout and being able to be one of those guys to run the ball on those screens. And so hopefully Parker's got his mojo back, his confidence back, and I'm also interested to see what Tiger Bachmeier can do in that role, because we saw him he ended up taking that one punt return and he ended up going backwards and losing some yardage on that. And then last game against Stanford, we saw that big return down the near sideline. And so there's been a little bit of a mixed bag from Tiger. I think that maybe getting him into the flow there as the main guy to return those punts, maybe that'll help build his confidence as well after that big run against Stanford, his old team.
That's what's trending up and trending down with BYU football as the Cougs get ready to take on the Pirates tonight. Just a quick update from Salt Lake City. Texas Tech is up on Utah 27-10 with 2:27 to go. Texas Tech's got the football on the Utah 25-yard line. Will Hammond stepped in for an injured Baron Morton, and he has been excellent for the Red Raiders. 12 of 15 for 148 yards and a touchdown as the Red Raiders looking like they're going to escape Rice-Eccles with a big Big 12 win. We'll talk more college football on the other side with Stephen Igo, insider preview of the Pirates next here on Cougar Sports Saturday.